Hello everyone and welcome back to the Adams Eats kitchen. Well, actually it's more like the Adams Eats garden. I thought I'd do a video outside today because the lighting's better for what I want to do, but also it's nice and warm outside, so I thought, why not? Now, as you can probably guess by the title of the video, I'm going to show you how to chop an onion. Now you might be sitting there thinking, why the flippin' heck is he showing us how to chop an onion, right? That's pretty basic stuff. Well, it is to some cooks, but to others it's not. It can be quite a bit of a challenge. And one thing I discovered is when I did my 1,000 subscriber special live stream, is quite a few of you wanted me to do more kitchen basic stuff. So yeah, that's the aim of the video, and that's what I'm going to do today. So without further ado, if you get your noggin down here, I'll show you how to do it. Right, so before we get on with this, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the equipment you're going to need. The first thing you need is a chopping board. I've got a nice sturdy one here, and just underneath it I've got a damp tea towel which will just stop it from sliding around. And then the most crucial tool you need is a sharp knife. Now, I can't stress this enough, it needs to be sharp. Now, obviously when chefs do it, you know, their knives are ridiculously expensive and also ridiculously sharp, all right? You don't need to go that far, but it does need to be sharp. Now, this will work exactly the same whether it's a red onion or a white onion, but I've got a mixture of both anyway. Now, the first thing you're going to do is peel the onion, and to do that we're just going to chop it in half, like so, and then just flip it over onto its flat side and just take off that end bit there, okay? Not too much, you don't want to waste it, okay? And then you can just kind of peel. Sometimes there's only a very thin coating on the outside, but what I sometimes do is just remove that outer layer completely, because it can be a bit kind of rotten and gammy on the outside. So just peel it. Okay, so you can see we've got our halves of onion, all right, intact. I've kept the root on because this is just going to keep it together when we dice it. But what's a really good idea is to just nick off the end part of that root, all right, because that gets rid of any kind of muck and horribleness, but still keeps the root intact. So the first cut I'm going to show you is just a medium dice. This is really good if you're making kind of casseroles, stews, you know, soups, things like that, where it doesn't really matter if it's a fine cut or not. So that's what I'm going to show you. And all we're going to do is just run our knife down into rough chunks, keep it together, and then turn it around, and then do the same about 2, maybe 3 times. And there you have just a simple kind of medium dice. Great for stews, casseroles, as I said. You know, if you're going to blitz it up into a soup, then obviously this is ideal for that. Okay, so then we'll push that to one side. Now with this other half, I'm going to do a really thin slice. This is good for salads, you know, putting into tacos, sandwiches, that kind of thing, where you want that nice onion flavour, but you don't kind of want big chunky bits. I'm not going to bother taking off that end bit because we're going to throw that away anyway. And all you're looking to do is to just grip the onion, kind of tuck your fingers in a bit because you don't want to cut them off. So by tucking your fingers in, you're going to protect yourself. And then just using the back of the blade against your knuckle, this is going to act as a guide. So, you know, you're not going to kind of hack into yourself. So rest the blade against your knuckles and then just work downwards. You don't need to go super fast, all right? We're not professional chefs. And just work the knife going all the way down. This is why it's important to make sure your knife is sharp, because if it's not, you're not going to get nice thin slices. Okay, and when you get to a point where it's a bit wobbly and you're kind of struggling a bit, just flip it over onto its side, and again, keep slicing, and all you're left with is that tiny bit of core, which can go in the bin, and then look, you have these really nice kind of ribbons of red onion. So that's kind of like your nice slices, again for salads, sandwiches, tacos. So put that again to one side. Right, and the next cut, I'm going to show you how to do a fine dice. So again, like before, I'm just going to take off the end here, cut it through the middle, and then peel it. Right, so I've peeled the onions, I'm just going to pop one half to one side. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways on how to get a nice fine dice. Now this method is kind of like the usual way, which you see a lot of on YouTube, and then I'm going to show you another way, which I learned recently. Okay, so the first method is we need to keep this root on. Okay, that's important because that's what's going to hold it together. And then taking your knife, what we're going to do is just cut into the onion, but not all the way to the end, all right? Okay, you want to leave about ½ centimetre, you know, at the back, near the root. So you can see I've cut those kind of strips in, but it's all holding together because of this root. And then what I'm going to do is just cut my knife inwards. You can do it once or you can do it twice. You know, it's up to you. And it also depends on how big the onion is as to whether you need to do it twice. Okay, so I've cut into it, and then all I'm going to do is just slice all the way down. Again, like I said, your knife needs to be sharp, because if it isn't, this is going to be really hard to do. And then once you get to the end, flip it over and just dice. And there you have your nice fine dice. Now you can actually get finer than this, which is the next bit I'm going to show you. So as you can see, it's nice and fine, great for risottos, great for salsas, dressings, salads. I'm just going to move this out of the way. Right, I've just moved the camera just slightly so you can get a bit of a closer look. Right, so this next method is really, really cool if you want a really fine dice. Now I mean fine, okay? If you think that's fine dice, then wait till you see this. So all we're going to do with this onion is take off that root completely. And what I'm going to do is just take off the outside layer, because that's a bit gammy. And what we're going to do is just remove that inner core, okay? So just pull that out. You can use that for stocks or something else. Then we're going to cut it into quarters, and we're going to do this in layers. So I'm just going to take out a couple like that. And then you can see there I've got 2 layers, and all I'm going to do is just press it down and then just cut into really nice thin julienne or strips. And then what we're going to do is just gather it all up. Then you just want to bunch it all together so it's nice and even, and then just taking your knife, just work down. Remember to keep your fingers tucked in and just keep going all the way to the end, just like so. And look at how fine that is. Look at it compared to this one, look. You can see how much finer that is. Now that's even better if you're making like a salsa, a dressing. Right, so the final method I'm going to show you is how to do onion rings. I've got no red onions left, so I'm going to use the white ones, but it'd be the same method, whatever. Just like before, we're just going to nip off the end, and we're also going to take off that root, and then taking your knife, just score the edge, and then just peel off that first outside layer to get rid of all that skin. Make sure it's nice and sturdy on the board, and then just cut, keeping your fingers tucked in, into rings. If it gets to the point where you can't cut any further, just lay it down, place your hand nice and flat, and then just cut all the way through. Just be careful not to cut into your hand. So there we have our discs, and then all you need to do is just pop it into rings, take out that core, and there you have nice onion rings, you know, for making onion rings, funnily enough. Sometimes you get this kind of little bit of membrane stuck to the onion ring, just peel that off, get rid of that. And it's easy as that, folks. We've got our medium dice here, great for kind of soups and stews, casseroles, that kind of thing. Nice thin slices there, which are great for salads, sandwiches, tacos. Fine dice, again, good for pasta, salsas, risottos as well. And then we've got our ridiculously small micro dice, which again is good for risottos, pasta, salsas, sauces, dressings, etc. And then to finish it off, we've got our onion rings as well, which again are good for onion rings. Well, that wraps up the video today, guys. I hope you found it informative. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you like the video, and if you want me to do more kitchen basic stuff. And if you've got any suggestions, then please leave that in the comments as well. And as always, stick around at the end because there'll be some links to some other videos. And if you want to subscribe, there'll be a button for that as well. And I'll see you lovely people next time for more tasty fun and frolics. And bye for now.